Hello guys, this is Paula and it is Monday evening and we are back to do our second and final embellishment video for Alice in Wonderland, the little golden book. So, I know we're going to do the same sort of thing. I kind of want that to be the theme of this book, is just embellished items. And, I mean, things don't have to be themed, but I'm going to this time because I love collaging. And so we're going to do some collaging. Let me see where my video, I like to line it up so I know exactly where the bottom is. And again, I'm sorry, there's stuff everywhere. I've been cleaning out items for a local scrapbook garage sale, and on top of everything else. So I know you guys have seen me collage envelopes before, and so the first thing I want to do is make sure all the flaps are glued down, and underneath these little places right here, because I don't like them to come apart once we get them embellished, you know, and then that's happened because they were tea stained. And so let me press down on that. Now, we're not going to do over the top stuff, but we are going to collage this envelope because I haven't done one in a long time. And you know me, I love doing envelopes. Envelope anything. Get the glue off that's on the inside here. Okay, now we also have a card, which if we have time we'll do it too. And I usually just do a little tiny something on it. I'm just going to ink around the edges real fast, just an easy ink. As I said, I didn't do anything but pull an envelope out, pull out some music sheet. But today, this afternoon, I didn't have a long day in here. So this afternoon, I worked on cutting out pockets and stuff for the book that are actually papers from the book. So, and we may or may not get to those. I don't know. We'll see. We only got 3 things done last night, so that's pretty sad, huh? I'm just slow. I can't help it. I can't help it. Forgive me, please. But anyway, I look at slow like it could be slow because you don't know what you're doing, or slow because you're old and your hands don't work like they used to, or who knows what else. Okay, now I want to use this little blue, kind of turquoise blue. You know, it has some turquoise. At least some of the papers do, I'll put it that way. So I'm just going to ink it and then put it on one portion. Now, my decision is, do I put it in the middle? No, I think I want to put it to the left side this time. I think usually I put it to the right, and I am going to leave a little border. So that way we can, I want to make sure you guys can see. We are going to leave a little border because, whoa, what's up with that string? It's like it volcanoed up into the lid. That's strange. Okay. That makes you think that there's something wild and crazy in there. So we're going to glue this down. We're not going to make a tag space in the back though. And when I've made it before, I have done that. But we have a lot of places for tags, or file folders, or whatever it is we might be doing. And I forgot to get stuff out to make my booklet. That's all right. We'll get it done at some point. Okay. I was going to make a little mini booklet. for whoever purchases it. So they, you know, got to have that little hidden space thing going on. Now, I'm just going to slip this in here. Oh, it doesn't fit. Let me see if I got another one. I just don't want it to stick to the, to itself. So I'll just put that card in there for now. Okay, so I did grab out some of my Tim Holtz embellishments. And let me set those up here. This box will stay back where we can actually see what's going on in here. I do like this little heart I just saw on the very top. This has just a little bit of everything in it. It has floral, which, you know, we've done a lot of floral. You know how Tim Holtz does. He prints out this ephemera. I do like the little... I'm sorry, guys. I think it's something about me talking. But I like that a little bit. Let's keep going. Oh, that has to do with math. Oh, look at this old picture. It's not a very good print, though. This is return registered letter receipt. I like this little library card, too. Now, I know it's not the normal size, but it didn't matter. And I also like this airmail. That's cute, too. I'll leave it out. They had Hobby Lobby had Tim's embellishments. Well, here's another photo. It's not that great, though. Had his embellishments 40% off the other day, and usually they don't go more than 30% off. So I thought that was reason to purchase. These birds are cute, aren't they? But we're not doing anything about birds. We can always dig back in there if we decide we want to. Some of this is not Tim Holtz. I'm running up on some of the things that are not Tim's. And here's a dance ticket. And this is a drive-in. Since it's a movie we're doing, that ticket would be fun in there, wouldn't it? And there's a lot of airmail, airplane type stuff in here, which he had all that on the bottom. Or I might not have bought, that bird's cute. I might not have bought it just because I don't work with a lot of travel stuff. Okay, so I think we've gotten everything that's worth having right now. And let's see what's underneath here, because there might be some cool stuff down here that was already in the box. So it looks like there's some more little goodies, little cards with typewriters, things loved. And then they've got the alphabet, which I love anything with an alphabet. But the A is missing. What is up with that? It looks like it was cut apart, so... And some of these are not even in order. Okay, we're not going to worry with those right now. I'm going to set this aside. And I think we're going to use this on here. But I am going to... I've got to find my scissors. I am going to cut it down a little bit because it's got the edges on it from cutting it apart once upon a time. And then we'll ink around it. And I think it would be fun to make this a little pocket. What do you think? Oh, come on, Paula. Cut straight. I've been really glad to get the old little golden books out again. And listen, I have a ton. One of these days, I will post a list on my site, and you can go over and look at all the different books I have. It's nuts. Okay, so there we go. This needs to be inked super fast. And when I say super fast, that's what I end up doing. All right, crazy lady. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. We could even say this airmail was like a love letter. Maybe no, it's not quite wide enough unless we trim it down, and I don't want to do that. We could make it a library card. Nope, none of those are going to fit. How lovely is that? Well, that's all right. We'll find, here's some small ones. Now, these little ones, I always like his little train cards, you know, the ticket. Let's see what this one is. We don't want that either. Cable. I don't need to be reminded about cable. This one is a teeny tiny time card. So maybe we'll use these little tiny things. That was the same as the other one. Okay, so we'll put these little tiny ones in this pocket. So let's go ahead and glue this on, because I know that I want to do that. Let me make a little tiny thing on front here, just to kind of make it look so people know that it's a pocket. You know, they're going to know when they see the stuff sticking out, but I think it's cute on there. So last night, you guys, we went over our hour. I'm sure people were like, lady, seriously? We were just so involved in taking our sweet time. I get involved in it, and I forget about the time. And I'm kind of a newbie to YouTube, so nobody has said anything to me, but I'm sure people don't like it, you know. There's always someone that has an opinion about it. So, all right, there we go. Now, that's cute, isn't it? If I say so myself. Okay, this is a little train stub with dates on it. Sadie is giving my husband grief. I can hear it from here. She's good for me during the day. He has her in the evenings some until I'm through in here. And then I have her all day. You gotta love her. You know, she's been very loving, which she wasn't before. You know, and I think that was the puppy in her. And she's matured. Like when I tell her no, she doesn't do it. And I like that she's finally getting to that point. Okay, so we are going to have to find something to fit inside of this. But we can always go back and I want something that's the right height. See, like this needs to be something long like this, except I don't want a map in there. See, but it just barely sticks out. It just needs to be a very narrow, I can get my fingers on it now. Very narrow thing. Okay, now we've got the rest of this to collage. And you know, I usually like to use stuff that comes from the book. But, you know, the paper we're using in the book. But I don't necessarily have to do that. So, I'm thinking as we're going along here. Trying to see if one of these cards would work, but none of them is like something you'd use in this. So, I'm going to get my scraps. They're right here. We'll see what we can come up with, even if we just have to make a little tag. I don't have many scraps left because I've been busy cutting pockets and so forth. So we want something that looks good with this, but we also got to remember that we want something that matches. Like, see, there's the turquoise. So I want that turquoise up against. How about we do like this? Let me cut this real fast. I'm not going to pull the cutter up there because it just will take us forever. Oh crud, my paper moved. That's what happens. That's what happens. I'm going to do it 1.5 inches because we have a lot of room to play with. But how long do we want it? I think I'm going to take it straight up. Now, I'm not going to make a border in the middle, but I do want to make a border along the sides. I don't know why, I just do. So I hope you guys had a good day today. I got all the pages stitched. I don't know if I had them stitched last night when we did the video last night or not. I can't remember. But I got all of them stitched, and then I used bright yellow. And after that, I worked on cutting out the pockets, and I did line the fabric for the binding. I always line the fabric because you all well know that it will bleed through, you know, and it still bleeds through some. I don't get why they haven't come up with a way to keep it from doing that. What can I say? Okay, so we have this color. I'm not sure what order I want to put anything yet, so that's why I haven't really... okay, so we've got the turquoise, we've got purple. We need some yellow, but you know, I just don't have much of anything that's yellow. I will look and see if I have something yellow in my other box here. This is just my scraps. You know, gotta have the scraps. I'll leave those out for a minute. And this doesn't have it. You know, yellow is just not everybody's favorite sort of thing. That doesn't have yellow in it. Let me look in my Ooh La La crafts from Kristi's Etsy shop. Can you guys see? I hope this isn't blinding you. But I just want to see if I don't think that she put anything yellow in here. We do have some music notes, which I like. Let's see these. I'm going to leave those out. Might try some of that. I just want primary colors. We have green and red. But I don't think we'll have to see what it looks like. We'll look and see what it looks like. This is cute, pink and blue, but I don't know if it will go. We'll just have to try it once again. And the rest is like my pinks and stuff. Okay, well, we'll leave those laying out just in case we decide to do that. And I can get my other Tim Holtz flowers out. Because if I remember right, let me get this open. He, oh, and see, I love his butterflies. But these are too big. We'll see if we have a small one. Here's some yellow. It just doesn't have that primary color in it, though. You know, I kind of gravitate to the yellows in his stuff for some reason. There's that. So I've probably used a lot of them. It's another yellow. There's a yellow with a little bit of orange. We'll just get them out and then we'll decide. Because the book doesn't have a ton of yellow. The book does, but my papers don't. So I'm like, we need some yellow going on. There's a yellow butterfly. And here's a yellow butterfly. So we'll look at it, and it depends on what space we have available. And then we can decide what goes where. Okay, so that's that. Now, see, that's a different blue. Still like it, because there's all different colors of primary in the book. Let's see. I'm starting to reconsider whether I want to put this in there. I'm going to set it right here. But I might put some of this music fabric from Ooh La La Crafts by Kristi, and it's her. I'll link her Etsy store below. You guys, she has amazing stuff. Amazing. See, like in this heart, there's a lot of different blues and pinks. So whatever we decide to come up with will work. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm going to try to tear this so we keep the edging the same, but I want to make sure I have the right length. Okay. Now, I'm not worried about, you know, here I go. I'm not worried about it being perfect, because I really don't. I'm not. If I can get my strength. Doesn't want to tear, of course. Oh, there we go. Finally. So I got, when I'm through with this video, I have to go price all my stuff for the garage sale this weekend. I got to start at least, I'll put it that way. And have that all ready. It helped to put this upright. Alright, we're going to have to glue that little tip down because it's bugging me. So this looks like it was printed on muslin, or she tea stained it. Either way, I like it. And I'm thinking we'll put something else on it. It wasn't my plan to do a bunch of fabrics or laces on here. I'll do whatever we need to do to make it look good. I'm putting some Fabri-Tac on the back, and I'm not being very precise. I'm just kind of scribbling it on. But I am going to be a little bit more on it here in this one corner that's folded under, because I do want it to lay flat. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh, I missed a big spot up here. Okay. So I'm thinking, what can we put on here? We could put one of the flowers on here, but I kind of feel like it's going in the pink and blue theme. I don't really want it to be one thing, you know? Cute, cute. Okay, so we do have some yellow flowers, but it just doesn't look right up against that. See what the butterflies look like. You cannot add you can add a butterfly anywhere, and it'll be fine. I think I have some, yeah, I do. Here's a smaller flower. Yeah, we can do this. I like this better. But I'm going to wait and glue it down when we decide what we want over here. So, okay, so we've got that part done. We still have to do a pocket, or I mean a tag for the pocket, and then what do we want on this right side? Where'd my little piece of paper go? Good question. Let me look here. It's not there. Good grief. Where did you go? Well, I thought I put it back over here. Oh, there it is. Hello. Now see, I do like this better away from this because then they don't have to be an absolute perfect match. And it adds some red and it adds some purple. Now we've got yellow and we've got pink and blue. And we've got some black in there, a little bit of black in there. And that is going to fit nicely. Now, the one thing I don't like about this is that it just looks plain. So, we got to come up with something that will look good on it. We could, as I'm trying here, this is the binding fabric. We could put it under the flower and under this fringe here on the music paper fabric. We could just put a strip of that to kind of divide it up and then trim this a little bit more. Let me see how much I need to trim it. I don't know about you guys, but I love collaging. I can collage anything and be a happy camper. Okay, let me cut this real fast. If I can see my little fingernail mark. Do you guys do that? Get in a pinch and don't want to grab a pencil, so you just bend it with your fingernail? I do it. I do it. Now, I hope I cut that at the right spot, because it kind of was moving around. Okay, so we're going to go like this. I just want more collages in it than is popping up. Do you know what I mean? So let me think about what color we don't have in there. We've got red, turquoise, purple, yellow, pink. So I think that's enough colors, but I still think we need some lace. So somewhere. No, that's too pastel. I have my lace basket right here somewhere. I just had it. Oh, there it is. So we'll find some kind of lace in here to go with it, and where, I don't know. I just feel like it needs to be like over here, kind of turned in. Let's see if we can find some that will do that for us. But I don't think it needs to be very big. So I think we're going to use these little flowers. And these are very vintage. They're really old. They came out of a estate sale. And you can tell they got little bags and stapled them together. Okay. And I'm going to show you up close. I don't know if you could see it, but I'll hold the whole thing up when we're done here. Okay, let me just cut the whole thing off here, and then we'll get back to what we were doing here. We'll start gluing stuff down. Okay. These little plastic things, you know, because of the static in this time of year, drives me crazy. Okay, so we've already glued that down. So let's glue this down. And really, I'm just going to run some glue straight down here in the middle and make it work. And I think I'm just going to run it on over, because we've got this whole section is solid. Get that up a little higher. Okay, so now let's see what we get, or we end up with. Come on, get it down there. It doesn't want to go under the fringe, so we're going to butt it up next to the fringe. And it doesn't want to because of the glue. Okay. I'm going to cut this in a little bit because I want that tiny border. These scissors need to be sharpened. They don't cut fabric as well as they used to. Especially if I'm doing like, see, it does not want to cooperate. Let me move this other stuff. All right. If I can get this part off here. That's the problem. Lift it up and trim it, Paula. I'm trying to get hold of it. It's so tiny. And I have problems with tiny stuff. But it doesn't keep me away from doing it. Sorry, I got out of camera there for a second. I was trying to see this small butterfly fabric. There we go. Ah, finally. Crazy thing. Now we'll go ahead and put this down here on this glue that's already here. And this is a different collage for me. I usually do a lot of little small sections. But when I saw these items, I was like, I want to do those. And so, that's why we got a lot of straight going on. Okay, so I'm going to glue these flowers down first. Come out of there. And I'm sure with this being, oh, good grief. Yes, now the glue is all over me. Sorry, guys. My hands are just clumsy. What can I say? And, okay, so I better get it on here before I drop it again. So I'm kind of leaning it, if you notice, kind of leaning it to try to keep it as much in this square as I can. And, yeah. So, let's do our butterfly. And you know I forgot to ink the flowers, but they're so dark anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Come on out, my glue. I'm going to have to either do something, but I'll try to do something before my next video. Stupid glue. Okay. It just pours out, and then you have puddles. And that's how I get inky. Okay, now we had the butterfly kind of over, but you don't want to block your, or do we want to put it here? Oh, I like it there. Let's do it there. Now I'm looking and I'm thinking, now where am I going to put my lace? Now I'm going to run some ink over this because I haven't had a chance to tea stain it, but trying to figure out what's front and what's back. I think that's the front. We could just do it on here. And, or we can do it like this. Let's see which one we like the best. I think I still like that, don't you? So, I'm going to put some glue on here, and it's not going to be bright white anymore because I really want everything to kind of look muted a little bit. I hope I inked the right side. It's hard to tell. This one looks so much alike on both sides, so I think I like this side better though. So, look at this. You turn your head for 5 seconds and your glue goes crazy. Okay, so I'm going to just run some glue straight down as much as I can on this floral. which is absolutely beautiful. When I know you guys saw the paper the other day. Oh my goodness. I love that paper. I'm going to turn this like this so I can line it up easier. And, you know, in the middle it always wants to have that round shape. It's probably been in that little bag forever. I'm going to wait till it dries before I trim that off. Otherwise, I'll have a repeat of putting that fabric right there down. Okay, so there you go. Our little butterfly is kind of under, but that's all right, not much. Now, we still got to have a card for in there. And I'm thinking that let me see, this is the cards that we worked on last night. We could cut it down and make it shorter. And it would actually be perfect, except, I don't know. I don't want to have to work on those extra ones. Okay, so let me find a card, like a journaling card. How about we use this yellow library card, but cut it down on both sides. So let me see. I'm going to center the middle part and take my pencil. We'll just cut this baby down. Give me a second. It'll take me an hour to clean up the mess I've made. Okay. Now hopefully it will be tall enough now that I've cut it down when we put it inside. Yeah, it will. So let's ink it real fast. I try to always ink, but when I do a collage like this, it's hard to do that, you know, because you don't really know what you're putting, where you're putting what. So, talking about the garage sale a while ago, I want to show you this. It's Rusty Pickle journal, acrylic clear journal. And I don't even think Rusty Pickle's around anymore, but this was from a garage sale. I gave $3 for it. And this whole thing is acrylic, and I just leave it on here to stamp. And if you saw my little journal, you saw the paper that I journaled on. So like little things like this, if you put it on a piece of paper and just ink over it, you can get some little lines. And you know, I may do that on some things before we get too close to being done, or before we glue everything down. Now, I'm going to see if I can cut this without cutting my finger. Listen, I have cut my finger with this pair of scissors because it does have such a long cutting span on it that sometimes I'll hold my hand out front. I've learned since last week when I almost did that. Yeah, see, one side has to not cooperate. We'll just get it close as we can. Okay, we'll leave it like that. That's good enough. Okay, so now we have our library card in yellow, and I think we're not going to put anything on top of it. I was going to put like a little piece of lace, but I kind of like it like that. Okay, now, this is the outside, and so I had thought about putting something right here too. But what? But what? Don't really have anything. Could put a flower, a couple little crocheted flowers. Yeah, I kind of like that. Can't believe I'm saying that, because, or do we like it there? It kind of covers up our, I'm just going to put one right there in the corner. It needs something. These have already been tea stained. So I'm thinking we'll do something very simple on our card that goes inside. I don't like to leave anything not journaled, not a place to journal. Like, you know, for instance, I don't want to leave this blank. So I'm going to decide how I want to do the inside. I think I might put a little bit of ribbon or something just along the top. You know how I do. Sometimes I'll just run something right here. How about some of this butterfly fabric? I mean, after all, we just used it and it's really perfect. Except I'm going to cut it a little shorter and make sure it's straight. Okay. And I just put it there at the top, and that just, when they open the envelope, they can see that there's something in there. Because sometimes I put, what was I going to say? I put like smaller cards inside the envelope. And for sure then, you know, they'd be digging around. So I'm going to put this right here. Try to center it as much as I can in the card opening. Or the envelope opening. There. And I'm not going to do anything that's too bulky. I'm just going to do it right there, and that's going to be it. All right. Let me see how much time we have. I don't want to go as long as we did last night. 41 minutes. Jeez, that was fast. Okay. I think it's because, you know, when you're having fun, things happen fast. Let's do this envelope. I think we'll have time, but anyway, here you go. I want you to see it up close. I don't know if I let you. Let me bring it back some, because there you can see better with the, I don't have this card pushed down all the way in there. But there's the back. So we'll close that. So you just take a bunch of junk, except the ooh la la. It's not junk. It's gorgeous. And, I mean, just different things. And just stick something on and build around it. Okay, so that is that. We're going to set this aside. Now, I want to line. I just grabbed a piece of paper because I want to align this card, because you can see why. I inked the outside, and I wanted to keep the copyright of this music sheet, which is 1928. I wanted it to be the top, so I cut accordingly. And I have my scoreboard somewhere, but I really feel like this is the envelopes that fold really easy. You don't want them to go past these flaps if you want it to be nice and square. Now, I haven't made anything to go inside this, but we will. We'll come up with some kind of card or something. All right. And then we want to bring the bottom up. Come on, cooperate. Now, you know, some old music will tear, or it will crack a little bit on the edges, and that doesn't bother me because I just run some ink over it. It's not like it's completely through, and it's not like it's going to be bent again because we're going to glue it down. So I'd be shocked if I ever got a perfect fold on my, it would help though to get my scoreboard out, which I brought over here, but what can I say? I don't know what I did with it. It's under something. Okay, so we're going to glue just a little bit right here and right here. Try not to get it into your envelope, and then just push it down and hold it for a second. Now, you want to feel around and make sure there's no glue in there. Why that's not sticking. Maybe it's because it wasn't, I didn't give it enough time. Yeah, that's what it was, because it's Fabri-Tac. That thing, it sticks to anything. Okay, so I just want to slide some of this down in there. And I'm thinking, how wide does it need to be? Which side do I want? It's real close already. Let's do the side that has the beginning of the song. Okay, so I'm just going to trim a piece right here, right there. I'm just going to stick it down and cut it real fast, because if I try to start cutting, you know it'll be a disaster. A complete disaster. Okay, now let's see if that slides down in there. Covers up that ugly blue. Perfect. See, but it's a lot wider than this paper was, and that's okay, but we're going to put it all the way down in here, and then we're going to turn it over and trace around the flap. Let me make sure that's even. There we go. Then you just pull it out and trim it. And you can discard the top or save it to, you know, to trim something else or collage with something else. This is one of Tracy's. I just kind of took one of her little envelopes and traced around it. Thank you, Tracy. Just because I couldn't find my template, which is crazy, but very true. Now I got this little tiny, tiny line that needs to be trimmed and rounded at the top. There we go. Now I'm going to run some ink on this so that now that we know where it's going in, and that way I don't have to wrestle with trying to ink it from the once it's glued in. And then I'm also going to run, you don't have to ink all the way down because, you know, I'm going to run some ink on here to make it kind of match the the older music. Let's see if that's close enough. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue. This is where I always get myself in trouble, is deciding if I want to put it down in there and just put some glue down in there, which is what I usually do, because I did it without that once and I ended up, oh my gosh, I had it everywhere. So I recommend you open it up and just kind of start on one side and just let it kind of run down on the inside. It doesn't have to be a lot because it doesn't take a lot. And then you come up here, and on the top part you want to make sure you get along the edges, because that's, you know, where you want it to stay. Now it dries really pretty quick. I mean, you do have playtime, but listen, when I did the big envelope this way, I did not. By the time I wrestled it down into the envelope, I didn't have any playtime. It was, I did finally get it in there, but I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to get it in there. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we can move on to deciding what we want to put in there. Now we also have to fold this. So I want to make sure we've got the glue in place. And then we want to fold this as straight as we can. Remember where the top is. Something I do a lot is, if I want to do something and I want to fold it, I score over. If I'm doing the lazy score, I just kind of lay this down and then kind of fold up on it. It's better if it's something strong. And that just helps me get it straight. Now, as you notice, I need to trim around the outside because some of my newer music is sticking out. And we don't want that to. We want it to look like it came that way. If I just use, the thing is, a lot of music sheets that I'm in the process of using aren't big enough to, you know, cut out a envelope, and so this particular one on the outside I wanted to use because it was vintage. So there we go. Now we want to ink up here. We want to remember that we have a 1928 envelope here. So now what do we want to put inside here? I wonder what we've got that will fit, if anything. I know there's a bunch of cards down in here, but they're just all either slightly too small or whatever. But okay, so we're gonna do we're just gonna cut out some of this cardstock that we had left over. And let me see, I like this green here too. So I'm just going to lay it like this, trace around it, and let the envelope hang over just a little bit. And then you can just freehand it that way. And cut it out and make it a little card. That was easy enough, huh? Here we go. Now, if you wanted to, you could round the corners. You wouldn't have to, but to be different, I think we're going to. And then you have to ink it. Now on this one, because it's a print, we don't really have to put anything on the one on the inside. But I thought we would do a little bit of collage on the outside. Just a little. And just to decorate the envelope a little bit. But remember, when you decorate these little envelopes to go like in tux places or stuff like that, you want to make sure. Look at this. Let's see if it's perfect. Perfect, perfect. Life is going my way right now. Okay, so on the front, I want to use some of this paper too, but up in one corner. So, just a little square. Kind of like a stamp. Let's see if I can do it straight. What do you know? It's not perfect, but it's better than I expected. I'm not going to ink the back because we're going to put the this up in the corner and then do like, you can tell my music sheet is crooked. See how that kind of leans down? So this will help maybe hide some of that. We'll put it like this, and then we're going to add some other goodies. Let's just see what we got. Let's just see what's in this pile over here. I had some little pieces of stuff. Here, let's use this little piece of muslin while we got it out. We can actually put it long ways and then put this long ways as well, but more up into the corner. I don't know if I like that, but let's keep looking here. It's amazing what you can end up finding once you get going here. How about this lace under here? We can push this out a tiny bit so it's not so plastered up the wall. Not that much. There we go. We could put this right here. Make it look like it comes off the bottom of this little card. And what do we want next? Do we want a little flower here? Or do we want one of these again? Because they're kind of the right color, aren't they? Okay. Not trying to do anything spectacular. Let's get this glued down. Now I do have a few other things, and I'll show you real quick because they're not anything that you can't do on your own, because we need to get this book done so we can move on to the next Alice in Wonderland, which is going to be an experiment. Yes, it's going to be an experiment for me. I'm sure it wouldn't be for a lot of other craft journal makers, but it is for me. I think I'm going to trim this just a little bit. I felt like it was a little too wide. Okay, now we're going to put this up here, but leave it where we have muslin around the outside, just barely. We're doing it like it's a little stamp or something, which I have a lot of vintage stamps, and I forget to use them sometimes. I don't even know what I did with them. I cleaned out the other day, and I ran up on them, and I was like, I need to be using these. Okay. Well, look what I did. I forgot to put my lace down first. So we're going to slide that under. Get it on the right side here, and just put some glue right across the top. A big glob, as you can see. Okay. Just put it right. I don't care if the flower shows, so I'm going to move it up. I just want the fringe. Yeah, just like that. There we go. That's not so bad. Now we do need something up here, kind of like a, we'll make it look like it's the main event. Okay. And just put it dead center. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video. And get out your scraps and get out your junk. And I put that on upside down. Look at that. It doesn't matter though, because you're going to tuck it in a pocket. And I'm going to add a white paper clip. Let me get that right now. I think I have some white ones. But the only thing is the white ones are only large. It's so weird how this book, how this thing, how it supplied it. Half of them are big, and see, that wouldn't look bad with something dangling. I don't know. We'll have to look at it later. But there you go. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. And hopefully in our next video, we'll have to see how things go. I'll have the book bound, and we can start decorating it or adding a little bit of lace. We're not going to put a lot. I haven't even picked out the ribbon for the front, or the lace for the front yet, but I will. Alright guys, love you guys, and I will see you later. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Bye.